Hello all, welcome to my video on my toys. This here is a converted Bruder Mack truck. I don't know if you're familiar with Bruder. They're a toy company from Germany and they make some wonderful things. Anyway, I've managed to convert them to RC. Very proud of that. I think that looks great. The Scania was the first one we did. Works okay, not quite as good as the Mack. And then I treated myself to a globe liner, Tamiya. Very nice machines. The trailer is homemade. That's using a very small amount of Tamiya parts, i.e. the landing legs. The rest of it is all from local DIY, aluminium, the wood, homemade winch using a servo and the 3D printer. And the running gear, the wheels are off a Bruder toy. And again, lights, it's got a lighting board on it, all bits and bobs. And then that's the project we're just finishing now. That's a Lowboy that I've made. That's got customized running gear on it. All the suspension is 3D printed. The wheels are just off a Bruder truck. Pick them up very cheaply online. All the aluminium, wood again from local DIY. I'm very pleased with that, the way it's come out. Not finished yet, needs a bit of paint. And just a close-up of the Bruder truck again, the Mack. They used to have I made this with a dolly, but used the dolly for the trailer wheels. Anyway, I'm going to make the dolly again. I'm going to tear down the Scania, I think is what I'm going to do. Put a second driven axle on this machine, and that's me just trying to set up my lady with the camera. I do like the Tamiya. They've really grown on me. I like them a lot. A real lot. So using a micro servo to activate the fifth wheel lock. Just I don't think we quite got it there. That looks better. The landing legs on the trailer are driven by a servo. I've gone for a 3D printed mechanism to work them. They seem to work okay. I think they look better than the original Tamiya ones, but I don't think they're as good or as strong as the Tamiya ones. But they do the job. It really does do the job. This was just a demonstration to show the winching power. I don't think this would ever happen in real life, where you'd winch a big cat like that up on the back of a trailer. The idea of the winch was that I've seen on YouTube some guys that have been messing about with a similar sort of concept. They have like what would you call it, a loading platform that they can drop off the trailer. You can load it and then you come and pick it up later. There's a roller on the back of the trailer and it pulls the platform up onto the trailer. I thought it was a good idea. Really impressed with the way the winch come out. The rope for the winch, by the way, is just electrical cable, single core cable. I tried twisting some copper wire together to try and make it look realistic, but it wasn't strong enough. So that works just fine. It coils up very nice on the winch. Very impressed with it. This is great fun. this is as it come to me. The only thing I've changed is the controller, because the default controller, the buttons were horrible to use. I have a friend that drives one of these for a living, so between us he advised me how to set up a control system, which was the same as sitting in the cab for real. And I've made a box using some old joysticks, very old joysticks, the old clicker joysticks, in a box, rewired it all, and it's a lot easier to use, but still it does catch me out a little bit. I find it quite hard to get used to the controls. I'm only loading it like this because it's good fun. We have this machine has been used. Obviously, I don't think it's going to dig much. It's quite powerful, but it's not powerful enough to use in soil. But we used some when my friend come round. We used some light cat litter and played with that, and it was really good to watch him using it. It took him just a small while to get used to the RC side of things, but it was brilliant to watch him using it. And that's it. We're loaded, ready to go. I think we use the landing gear now. I think, if I remember rightly. The electrics on the trailer is a separate receiver for the radio. It's got its own lighting kit. As you can see, it seems to work okay. I'm quite happy with it. That operates the winch, the landing legs, and all the lighting on the back on the trailer. Okay, now we have the Lowboy. I'm very happy with the way this has turned out. Very, very happy. And the cost of it is very cheap, you know, compared to what you would pay for buying all the gear you need ready-made. It saved me a lot of money. I've enjoyed doing it as well. Obviously you've got to have a 3D printer or access to a 3D printer, but still some of them are not so dear now, even though maybe if you had to buy one of them fresh it'd still be a cheaper option than buying all the parts. I mean, just the axle parts on this alone and the wheels and tyres was just going to be silly money for me anyway. As it is, I bought the 3 axles there. I bought a little truck, second-hand truck. It cost me, I think, £10. Cut the wheels out of it and threw the truck away. I only wanted the wheels and the axle. And then say the aluminium's not expensive and the wood's not expensive. That mechanism there, the up-down mechanism, the hitch mechanism, is all driven by one servo and a screw thread, so it's quite strong, quite powerful. Sometimes it sounds like it's struggling, but it always seems to lift what I put on the trailer. This problem I'm having here is that there's a drop-down bracket on the tow hitch on the truck, which stops the bracket falling to the floor, and it needs adjusting. It's too high, so the release pin can't come low enough. Okay, this is just a demonstration of, just need to turn the volume down a little bit there. It's just a demonstration of, you know, using the trailer as it should be used. So other than this and the 360 machine, I think are the only things that I can use remote control on. So, yeah. Not a very good driver. I see a little white arrow there, it just points to the centre, and the idea is supposed to line that up with where the locking pin goes. It's supposed to make it easier. And depends where you're sitting. I'm sitting in front of the truck, which is not a good place to be sitting. See how we get on. I think we're in. Something's not right here. It's lifted it too high and it's struggling too much, and I think what it is, it hasn't locked in properly. Anyway, it isn't right, and that actually ended up breaking the mechanism, putting too much pressure on everything. So I had to stop the video and redesign how the servo fixed to the screw pin, locking pin. I think we've done a better job of it anyway. So yeah, it's a shame really, but so I can't remember if this bit is after it's been fixed or before it's been fixed. The truck's quite heavy, the Mack's quite heavy, so I'm quite impressed really what it can lift. At the end of the day, you know, a servo is quite a powerful little thing, and if you put it on a screw thread, you know, just that concept alone, you know, there's a lot of pressure there on that pin. Not sure about the, you know, I think it's fairly strong. You know, when I printed the parts out, I've made sure that they've been printed out strong, and at the minute it seems to be okay. I wouldn't like to put a real big, you know, a real big weight on the trailer. But most of the gear I've got isn't you know, that heavy. I've seen some guys on the YouTube there using the same setup, lifting these big solid metal diggers, you know, and well, this trailer's not designed for that. It's designed for, you know, for sort of your standard sort of RC stuff, not metal, big metal gear. But I have seen as well, I don't know how good they would be, I've seen some servos that will lift, says it lifts 20 kilos. That's a lot of weight, and it's certainly through a 20 kilos of force through a screw thread is a lot of lifting power. So that could be, maybe might be worth getting one of them. This is just me playing, messing about, pushing the machine up onto the ramp. Just why not? You think it'd be fairly easy to put a motor in you know, in the drop, but I've looked and maybe it wouldn't be so bad. But then there's no actual grip for the tracks. If you the tracks got wet, they just start slipping. But I think Bruder do a much better, more detailed version of something similar, a lot bigger, and it's got proper, I think they're plastic tracks with a tooth gear, and I know people do convert them. Maybe something for the future. And they just use servos as the drive force, so there's plenty of power, just very slow and steady. I do like my Mack truck. The service module part on the back there, the I don't really know what you call them. It took 30 hours to print on a 3D printer, and then a lot of work to clean it up, prime it, and then spray it all up. Didn't take so long. I have an airbrush, not the best of sprayers, but I get by. It's really hard to line this up, even though the arrow's there. I think this is, I'm quite sure this is the fixed revamped version now, and I'm sure, I'm convinced it picks up better. It seems to be a lot quieter, the motor picking up. That's all driven, by the way, off a spare channel on the radio in the truck. I was sort of thinking maybe the trailer's too long, but when you see the Mack truck on it, there's not a lot of room spare. And I would have thought these trailers I use quite a bit for towing trucks in, so fetching trucks in that are broken down. And again, this is just me having a bit of fun. I've seen people are converting these now with some people have converted them with hydraulics. I've seen some people that have converted them using I think actuators, I think they're called, something like that. I've also seen somebody that's done a modification on these where you get some very cheap speed controllers and you assign a speed controller to each motor, and you can control it proportionally. As it is now, it's on-off control. I have thought about doing that. It would make it a lot smoother and more controllable. But it's a lot better than it was. It's, you know, I don't know how it looks, but to me it doesn't look so bad when I'm doing. I do get a little bit confused with the controls and pull the wrong lever and push it the wrong way. But in general, it's, oh wow, it's so much easier to use, so much easier to use. I just noticed there's a little spider there in the background. Yeah, so definitely that is going to be revamped. That is going to have a drive axle, second drive axle on it, and I'm going to redo the dolly. I'd love to see that pull in this Lowboy under a dolly trailer. It'd be hard work controlling it in this tight environment, but I think it'd look pretty cool. Okay, that's pretty much it. Thanks very much for joining me. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope I haven't bored you too much. Just a little insight to a hobby that I really enjoy. Thank you very much, and bye bye.